A few more tools to kind of complete the picture. Let's go into this image. And last time we talked about the clone tool. What does the clone tool does? If I go and I hold Option and I click on this mirror and I start painting, it just simply paints those pixels. What does the healing brush tool does? I do the same thing. The healing brush tool is pretty much identical, except it does a blend at the very end. So if I take that healing brush tool right now, hold Option again, click on here, and I start painting, it does the same thing, but when I release the mouse, it takes that thing that got painted and blends it with the colors of the area I painted it on. So those is the difference between these two. Now there are two other tools that work very similarly. One is the patch tool and one is the content aware move tool. The patch tool actually makes a copy versus this one removes from a certain area. I don't use the content aware move tool very much because it's always, to me, messing things up just a little bit, and I'll show you why. So if I go to the patch tool and I say, okay, I want to copy these lights on top here. First of all, you have to be aware of the fact that the area where you selected very first is actually going to be the destination. So if I go in here, this is the destination when I want the lights to show up, right? So I select that area and then I drag it to the area I want to copy, and I let it go. And sure enough, copies it there. Again, it creates a blend, though, between what I'm copying and what's the background of it. So that's what the patch tool does. The patch tool, guys, is used quite a bit, and I'm going to go try to open that file I had before, is used quite a bit for bags under people's eyes. So I'm going to show you right now. And I don't know if this file is going to work as well as certain other ones. But you guys see that this guy here has quite a bit of bag under his eyes. So if I go with my patch tool here and I click, first of all, where do I want, what's the destination? I want this area to actually go away, right? And be kind of replaced by skin that doesn't have the bag under the eyes. So I'm going to actually go here and select the destination first, and then I'm going to move it right here. Actually, I did a mistake. Let's do the reverse. I go here. I always forget because I don't do this type of work, honestly. I try to leave the bags alone. I feel like cheating if I do this. There we are. This is what you do. You kind of actually select the bag under the eye and drag it to a piece of skin that is clear, and as you can see, the bag under the eye is gone. I don't know if you want to do it. I feel like always, even in photos of myself, in which I wish I did not have those Italian bags under my eyes, I never correct them because I feel like it's totally cheating. There's nothing wrong about aging, by the way. It's a beautiful process if you do it gracefully. But I wanted to show you how this tool is used quite a bit in fashion photography for that purpose. As you can see, this man has got younger all of a sudden. Let me go back to the little car. So I wanted to show you the content aware tool. The content aware tool and the patch tool differ not only for the story of the destination or not. That means in the patch tool, I select this area and then I click and drag and go target what I want to copy, right? I'm going to do Apple Z. Versus in the content aware tool, let's do the same thing with the content aware move tool. I'm going to go and select this area and then I drag it. And what I do is, instead of copying those lights, I'm just taking this thing and moving it there. That is not very good. So what do you have to do instead for the content aware tool? This time, instead of selecting where you want the lights to go, you would select the lights. So you select the lights and you say, okay, I want to move them up here. And it works, except look what happens to where the lights are now. It makes them go away. And it generally does a really odd, interpolation there that I never liked that much. So the content aware tool, you can definitely use it for very small areas. So let's say, not for the larger areas, but let's say here, I wanted to correct this thing here. Then let me take that content aware tool, kind of select that area, move it up a little bit, and you see it did the job. You guys see that, right? But if you do it for a larger area, it really doesn't work that well, guys. So be aware of that. Also, what the content aware tool does is called content aware move tool because it moves the pixels So if you do it in areas that they have a large difference, then it starts making a hole where you grab the item. So I'm just letting you know those are kind of tools that are quite different. And then last but not least, I want to show you another tool that I love. And it's actually this tool. It's called the history. I'm going to go ahead and open a different image to demo on that because I think it would be better to find a, yeah, let me find the I'm going to grab an image that is just, it is a little bit more simple in terms of colors. So let's say I have this image, and it's a drawing I did in Italy of a door knocker, and I feel like it would be much more powerful if the most of the image was black and white, but the center of the image was that beautiful, it's called, I don't know how you call it in English, honestly, but it's a pencil that they call sanguigna. Does anybody know what it is? You have sepia, sanguigna. It's a type of pencil that you can draw and has this kind of bloody color. Sangue is blood in Italian. So what I can do here is, first of all, I'm going to go and desaturate this image. Image adjustment, desaturate. Now, I know that I want to bring back the color just in certain areas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this art brush, take it back. It's called a history brush. The art brush comes right next. The history brush, I take the history brush, and what does it do? Even though you don't see it, I always love to show you the behind the scene. If you're here, you'll see that it targets a certain area of your history. And by default, it will target the beginning in this case because I haven't done anything to this image, right? I just desaturated it. So it generally target any of the steps prior. And in this image, there's just one step prior. That's why I change image to kind of try to make it less confusing. If I had done it on the car, there were so many steps prior that you could have got a little confused. So I want to tell you how it tends to target a step prior. Be aware that if you had a long list of steps, you could just simply click on this box and activate the step you want to be brought back. So what you're doing right now, you're bringing back something that was in the history. So if right now I start painting on the center of the image, sure enough, I'm bringing back the color, as you can see. So what does this history brush does allows you to take something that you had done in the history and bring it back into your image. I love this tool and use it quite a bit. The great part of this tool is that it also allows you to be quite artistic. I'm undoing everything. If you actually went right now in the art history brush tool, it would work just the same, but you have the ability to go into your brushes. I'm going to click on this palette that is, as you know, the brush palette, and you can say, okay, I'm going to pick for example, this brush, and now the secret of this step is to pick the right brush at the right size. So basically go in here and finagle with the settings, get the size to be, the way you want it, the spacing to be the way you want it. So once you got the right brush, I recommend you use a thin brush because it will make the best result. But just because I do give you this recommendation and I love to prove the opposite first, I'm going to blow it nice and big. So I'm going to show you first what does this brush do if I was to kind of have it nice and big. As you can see, it does some serious damage. So let me do Apple Z and actually bring this brush smaller. Now, it might be that this is the wrong brush and I have to switch. That's fine. I'm just showing you here that you can pick a brush, zoom in, have the brush nice and small. I often use it really small, and then bring back, create these brushes. I don't like it, so let me try another option before I change the brush. Right here, you have different settings for that brush. It can be a tight short, tight medium, tight long, loose, tight curl. So what you can do is kind of change, those settings and see what does it do. Let's try with tight short and see what it does. It creates actually a pretty neat effect in a way. It means my eyes are coming out, but it might be that this, I think, might be too fuzzy of a brush. I might want to go in and bring a different one. But as you can see, it shows my eyes, and now I'm going to actually exaggerate it and go in. It actually does, if you zoom out right now, Apple Z, and do the same thing, do you see what the difference is? I'm going to zoom in so you can see the difference. How in this case, it curls the brushes versus in this case, it's much more of a straight. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that these settings look at this. This is actually a loose curl. These settings can change dramatically your brush, as well as, obviously, if you go into your brushes and choose different brushes, you might choose this one instead, and then go in and say, you know what, I like that one, but it's a little bit too thick. I want it thinner, and then now I'm going to try to use that one and see how it goes. You see that the difference is dramatic on how this one paints. So you paint more like a, you know, the pointillism in you know, the art movement. You're doing little dots to paint. So this is kind of what the art history brush or the history brush do. Allows you to bring back color where you need it, in the case of this demo, or bring it back with an art effect. I will give you other examples and tutorials on how to use these two tools at a very sophisticated level, not just to bring back color, but definitely do some interesting effects with it.